Welcome to the Phoenix Prosperity Podcast, where wealth meets legacy. Join your host, Tim Fergestad, as we explore the journeys of Phoenix's finest to success and beyond.
Hello, this is Tim Fergestad. Thank you for joining us. I'm very pleased to have Vincent Orleck with me here today. Vincent is the founder of the social media marketing firm Not a Guru. Welcome to the show, Vincent.
Thanks for having me, Tim.
All right, let's start with that name. Where does that come from?
Yeah, I get asked about that a lot. That comes from, when I first really started working in social media marketing back in the late 2010 or so, early teens. I saw a lot of people using that word, calling themselves gurus or ninjas or Jedis or mavens, and I saw some others that were sort of rallying against that, like, no, we don't want to call ourselves that, and I felt that way too. So I figured, I'm not a guru. And at the time when hashtags were a lot bigger than they are now, necessarily, I did a hashtag Not a Guru, and when I started using that, it got a really big response. And like from the marketing community, and people I got a lot of followers on Twitter because of that, and I interacted with a lot of people and engaged and all kinds of things. So a lot of good came from that. And then a few years back, when I decided to just kind of start my own consulting firm, I decided to call it that.
Yeah, it's stuck. It sort of happened more organically.
It did, and it's definitely become like a personal brand piece. But yeah, it's always worked for me, I guess. It's just always been there. With the website and everything, it's always usually available also on whenever a new social media platform pops up or something, the handle or something I can create using that.
Okay. Yeah, it's unique enough and understood enough, yet not widely or contested. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like Tony Robbins has it wasn't one of his books, I'm Not Your Guru.
Tony Robbins, I feel almost maybe stole it from me. No. I had it. Yeah, I had it like before that. And then I saw on Netflix, he came out with the special, I'm Not Your Guru. And it was like this running joke. And I started to play off of it on the various platforms, like, tagging him and saying, hey, I've had this for a long time. And he would never respond really, but that's okay. It was fun.
Okay. So why don't you talk about what I'm Not a Guru does?
Yeah, I'm a very small, just me, consulting firm, and I started it so that I'd be able to help the people that would ask me for help with their social media marketing. It didn't really start as a full-fledged consulting business on my own thing. It's always been there in the background because I get asked a lot. People know that I do it for a living. Usually I have a full-time job typically. Like for a number of years, I worked at ASU, Arizona State University, in the Knowledge Enterprise team. Basically, that's the internal agency, marketing agency for the research side of the university. So even while I was there, I keep the company still exists and is still going. I'm not really actively pushing business for it, but every now and again, I'd have someone mention to me, "Hey, can you help me with this? And I'd like to give you something for it. And so instead of doing it for free, I have a little LLC, and you can feel free. I'll take this amount, and I'm not trying to gouge anyone or break the bank, but if I could help people, then that was the goal."
Sure. Okay. Excellent. So that happened organically, kind of like the name.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Since we're talking about social media,
yes.
What are things that people do not appreciate about how that's changed in the past few years?
Wow. Yeah, that's a big question. I think, well, number one, I imagine
it's platform specific aspects.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's definitely a lot of that specific change on each platform for sure. But just in general, I'd say the there's two huge changes that have happened. One goes back a few years, and one is a little bit more recent over the last couple of years. So the one that goes back to probably, we could estimate 2016 or so, with sort of the advent of TikTok. Not the explosion of TikTok necessarily, but when it changed from being this app called Musical.ly that was for children making music and stuff, lip syncing, to TikTok, what it is now. They created this thing for the For You page with their algorithm that really prioritized the content over how many followers someone has. Whereas Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's if you have this many followers, generally you're going to get this much engagement, this many likes, that's
more exposure.
Yeah.
So how do they judge? It sounds subjective.
It's that, and that's the secret sauce of the algorithm. I mean, that was TikTok's thing back then, and they've maintained that and only grown that. But now what you're seeing over the last few years is Facebook, Instagram, the Meta properties, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call these various others. They've also gone down this road of this algorithm that's more focused on content rather than how much of an audience you have. So you could have hardly any audience and your content could go viral, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
So that was a huge influence. And that's still it's a lot of what the brands and businesses and these platforms are dealing with now, and they're trying to take advantage of that. The other thing that's more recent in the last maybe, 2 years at most, is more along the content lines within SEO. And traditional SEO has been, when it first came around with search engine
we need you to explain SEO for people quick.
Yep. Search engine optimization. So if you have on your website, you have your blog, you're creating content on these places where it's hopefully going to be ideally and optimally found through a Google search. Organically, there's also the paid ways. You can do Google keywords and do paid ads for that sort of thing, target certain keywords that people are searching for. But organically is really what we're more focused on with this. So blogging, right? It used to be much bigger. It's come back now, but blogging was, you write blogs on your website that ideally draws organic, natural traffic to your website. So something like a topic like how much does this service cost, X service cost in Phoenix, and you become the expert essentially because you're writing this blog on this topic. And if someone searches for that, there's a decent likelihood they're gonna happen upon your content, right? And you're filling it up with keywords and making it sound good, and it's all for that purpose. What's happening now, the purpose was driving people to your website. That was the ultimate goal, is trying to get people to the website. Now what's happening over the last couple of years is this thing called zero-click content. And it's only been amplified now with the rise of AI platforms, and Google implementing AI in their search results. If you do a search, say on Google right now, you're going to come up with a result, likely, that gives you an answer right there to the question. It's not going to direct you to another link necessarily to someone's website. It's going to give you the information that you need.
I see. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. It answers your question before it gives you related sites.
And it may, depending on where the information is coming from, and this is part of the problem with what people are arguing about right now, is where is it pulling from? Is that information accurate? You kind of have to dive in more. But if you're just taking it at face value, there are definitely times where that information is not accurate. Right. That aside, the zero-click content piece is really where people are getting their answers, and they don't have to go click onto your website. They don't have to take that extra step. So driving traffic to the website is now being seen as less important because
Yep.
Google isn't doing that. And then also with the various AI platforms like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, I mean, you name it, people are now starting to do searches in these platforms for the type of searches they would do in Google potentially. And when they're doing that, those platforms are now going out onto the internet and finding sources, and they're coming back with that information. Again, it's not directing you to, hey, go click this link to find out
Right.
more. It's
Right.
giving you the information right there. It's telling you. So that's a huge change right now, and it's one that marketers and brands and businesses are either grappling with or starting to, or they don't know. A lot still really don't know
Sure.
about this as a thing.
So so let's say I'm using Grok or Chat
Yes.
GPT or something, and I say, tell me about how to make mini donuts at home. And there's like this mini donut teacher guru on the web who has a great website, but Chat takes his content and just gives it to you. But there's a little link underneath it, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like a reference, right?
Yes.
I see that's what I see.
It can.
So,
Yep.
So if it's not obvious, they don't say, want to know more, click here. They don't do that.
That's correct.
But, so that's what we're talking about, right?
It is. Exactly.
And so you just basically took their proprietary information, or now it's proprietary, they put it on the web, but it's their special sauce that they want people to come to their website for, and now you've just totally bypassed it.
Yeah, potentially, and or the AI is even combining multiple things
Yep,
that it finds
sites
online,
into,
right?
Yep.
And it's just taking that information and serving it up. So what people are, what they're trying to do now is figure out, okay, there's this mad scramble to figure out how do we, what do we do now? How do we handle this? And there's a lot of different schools of thought. I don't have the total answer at this point from what I've seen. It does seem to be where PR is more of a factor now in that sense,
Right.
because if you can build these PR campaigns that end up on articles, credible websites, credible articles that the AI can pull from, well, now at least your information is getting pulled, and then what happens from there? I mean, it's still out of your control as a brand, really. But then again, so were the Google results to most extents. So we'll see. It's still all very much in flux.
Right.
People are trying to figure out exactly how to deal with all this. I mean, the Google I/O conference was just a week or two ago, and they came out with a lot of things.
Yeah, I saw the video, and
and this sort of this was part of that discussion among the developer piece and even the consumer facing side.
Okay, so that's one aspect of it. Let's go back to the social media platforms, right?
Yes.
And like videos and stuff, where it seems to still be growing in popularity. Used to be you had to get people's attention for 6 seconds or something. Now it's 3 or something. It's
sure.
I don't know. So how's that changed? And what are what advice might you have for people who want to know how to optimize their content or posts?
Yeah, I love this question because I think it gets misanswered. Probably one of the most often misanswered questions, because there's such a focus for so many years on just exactly what you just said with, well, we have this amount of time to like catch someone's attention. That's not untrue. If you're scrolling through your feed, what's going to make you stop?
Right.
What's going to make you
kick puppies?
Yeah, right. But it's different for everybody, right?
Right.
So like, what is the thing that's going to make that person stop? And there's this kind of approach that I've always had, which is not unique or anything. It's with them, what's in it for me. Yeah. If you always kind of approach your content with that in mind for the audience. So for the audience, what's in it for them? Why are they going to, whatever the reason might be, it might be, it's probably not to buy something. It's probably more educational, entertaining, knowledge based, whatever. But there's something that's going to make someone stop and look at content. And so meeting the audience where they are, where they're willing to consume what you're doing and pay attention. That's all you're really trying to do, and then hit them with the right messaging. I mean, that's then you get more into the paid ad side, where you're hitting them with the right advertising, right messaging at the right time, and paying to do that. But organically, it's really just your brand, your making sure that you're giving your audience what they've given to you in terms of what they told you. Like, what have they told you that they want to see? Do more of that.
Okay.
keep doing that. But the other part of that is with video. That question comes up all the time. Like, how long should a video be? All right. How long? What should it be in the beginning and all this? And it really depends on the platform. Because something
Well,
like
they restrict, right? Reels or different things. It's
there's different time
60,
frames.
90 seconds. Okay.
Yep, absolutely. They I mean, TikTok started as 10-second and now has gone all the way up to 10 minutes.
Oh wow.
Reels on Instagram, Facebook Reels as well, Facebook Stories, Instagram Stories. LinkedIn now has video in that vertical video format. Snapchat still is around and in use by hundreds of millions of younger folks, younger audience, but it hasn't
My
gone
daughter.
anywhere. Yeah, it's definitely still around. But the length of video, people think, oh well, I don't want to necessarily watch such and such length of a video. Well, there's a lot of long videos on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
There's plenty of, right. So I mean, it's more about the platform. And YouTube just came out and announced that, which is valid data, that they're on television as far as the app. People are watching the YouTube app on TV, bigger than anything. So they're watching shows, they're watching content, half-hour long YouTube videos on their television through the smart apps, and not on their phone. Maybe they're doing it on their phone too, but having it available on the television has exponentially grown YouTube's presence and the amount of content that they're putting out. So, something like Hot Ones. I don't know if you're familiar with that TV show where they eat the chicken, the hot wings while they do the interview. Right. So that started on YouTube. It's still on YouTube. It's about a 20-minute, half-hour show where they're interviewing celebrities, and that was YouTube content, and then it's grown like crazy over the last, say, decade. But if you see that type of content, it's on YouTube, and then maybe they take clips of that and put it on the Instagram account, right, in Reels or in video in a post on the feed. So it's platform specific. The platform matters, because what does your audience want to do on that platform? Do they want to watch a 10-minute, 20-minute, 5-minute, half-hour video, or do they just want to consume, like TikTok, for the most part, is 30 seconds, a minute. Maybe if it's a creator that I really like, and I know that every time I go on their page, it's going to be like a minute, 2-minute, 3-minute kind of diatribe. Mm-hmm. I'll stick around because that's their brand. But yeah, it's very platform specific.
Okay. What's one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in running the not a guru firm?
Figuring out exactly if I want to make it a full business.
Oh, okay.
And just like the entrepreneurship problem, right? Like, do I want to just dive in head first, all full on, full bore, all the skin in the game, not have a job on this, a full-time job, and do this on the side, just do this all myself? That's always been the quandary for me. And I did for about a year and a half. I was lucky enough to join in a very small boutique agency with a friend of mine that she had started on her own, and acquired clients, had a great thing going, and she was doing so well that she needed someone else to come in as a partner. And my friend Kelly Singh, we had this agency called Brandish, and in Phoenix, and we were doing really well. And we just came to this point of deciding, do we want to continue full on and hire more people, and then bring in more business, or we both also had really good full-time offers
Right.
that we decided, because we're both, our families and things, it seemed better at the time. We're going to take the full-time offers.
Okay.
And we got acquired as well. So it worked out. But that ties into that decision making too. Like I just,
Sure.
it's that sort of typical decision making process of, do I want to go out all on my own and get a business?
There's a very different variables there that are important for different people at different stages of their life,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How old are you? Are you married? Do you have a family, right?
Right.
And do you need insurance?
Correct. Right. Yeah. It's age matters, family situation, and all of it. I mean, it's so many factors, and you just never know. Because then you always hear about, it's always the people that, well, this happened and I just decided to do it, and they're successful. And so it doesn't always work out, but certainly
No.
there's plenty of instances where it has worked out for plenty of people.
Right. Oh, for sure, for sure. So I used to be a little more skeptical about that. Used to be a show called Radical Sabbatical, and my wife used to love it. She'd watch it, and it was like some. My wife is a physician, and there's
Mhm.
like some doctor, orthopedic doctor, left their practice and went to Italy to go make shoes, and was successful and became this big shoe designer. And my wife's like, I should do something, follow my dreams and go make my, and my, follow my hobbies. Not necessarily a dream, but I would really enjoy that. But they don't show you all the people who tried that and failed, right? So
Right.
the only one who made the TV show is that. So that's the skeptical side of me. But on the other hand, almost every entrepreneur I know failed and then failed again and then failed again, and they just kept going till they succeeded, right?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, that's almost kind of a requirement. So it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means, just be prepared to keep doing it. So
Yeah.
I've changed my mind on that. I guess I'm not as skeptical anymore. I just it's you want to be purposeful with it and commit to it.
Yes, and I do think the ones that succeed, it is that element of full on commitment. You're all in, and you're not really distracted by other. It's like startups, right? Like that's the whole thing when founders go in to pitch. The investors will ask, well, how much of your own money is into this, and
Yep.
what else are you doing besides this? Oh no, this is everything. Everything I have is in this. All my money, my whole team, we're all full time, 80 hours a week, and this is all we're doing. And then that's the ones they want to invest in.
Sure. Well, yeah, I've that's very similar to I do private real estate investments full time now, and I like that when I invest in other people's deals, or when they're investing in mine, they like to know that I have skin in the game in that sense. But I've come to learn that when you're investing in my industry, you don't want the operator to be 100% all in on one project, because they have multiple projects. If something else needs help, you want them to be able to have the time and financials to deal with that, right? You don't want them to be spread too thin. So, yeah, it's a balance anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about local impact, things you do here with other people. Before we started the show, you mentioned, was it a startup group, or what was the...
Oh, the SPHX.
Yes. Share that with our listeners, please.
Yeah, the SPHX was born out of Phoenix Startup Week,
Okay.
roughly a decade ago. And I wasn't there in the beginning. I've lived here in the Valley for 20 years, but I wasn't involved with this at the beginning. I came in like maybe 2 years in. And the SPHX is our kind of banner for the local startup, entrepreneurial, and tech community, the ecosystem here. It's not an organization. It's a kind of a rallying cry in a way. It's what we used to be. We used to have more things where pre-COVID there was a lot of, not that there's a lot of events now, but there were a lot of things going on pre-COVID, and a lot of groups in the Valley, and ESPHX was sort of the thing that would help amplify everything that was going on here in the Valley with the startup ecosystem. Phoenix Startup Week, when that started back in 2014, 2015, the group that started it, they were like, well, how come we only do this once a year?
Okay.
How come we bring all the entrepreneurs and founders from around the valley, from West Valley, East Valley, everywhere? How come we only do this once a year? And so they started doing essentially happy hours, just mixers on like a monthly basis, and that became the Yes PHX community. There was a volunteer group. It's all volunteer based. It still is.
Okay.
There's a volunteer group that kind of ran it and organized things and created social media accounts and the newsletter and the email list. And when I came in, I started helping with the social media, and we had a Medium blog newsletter. So it was a way to amplify what was happening here in the valley, and it we were doing really well actually. GPEC, the Greater Phoenix Economic Council,
Yep.
gave us an award. Had us brought us up on stage. The folks, and when I say us, it's just the people that were sort of volunteering their time.
Sure.
It's because it's really it's the community. So that it's not like it's the royal we. It's not just me or one person at all. In fact, it's entirely the opposite. But there's been people that have kind of been the stewards for the community to lead the charge. And so yeah, it's still going. Things are still happening. It still helps and is behind Phoenix Startup Week, which just happened this past April. It's typically in April every year. And then we do have primarily the events that we are doing, organizing, are the summer social and the winter social. So they're free. Everybody comes out. There's no fee to attend or anything. But I mean, if you want drinks, you pay for your own drinks. But it's a mixer, and the next one's happening end of this month, June 25th. So depending on when this is coming out, not sure, but if it's before then you're absolutely
about that time.
Awesome. So anyone who hears this, Tim, obviously you and yours, come on out. It's at the W Scottsdale, in the indoor. Not winter one we've done up on the roof plenty of times. The summer we like the AC. So
Sure.
it's in the living room area, they call it, right when you come in. And yeah, it's at the W Scottsdale on June 25th, starting at 6 p.m. So anyone, just come on out. There's a link. I think we could probably drop it in the show notes. I don't want to assume anything, but
Sure.
if we can, then just RSVP through there so they have some idea of the number of people.
Okay, excellent. It's SPHX, Startup Phoenix.
Yes, PHX. So YES PHX.
Oh, YES. Okay.
Yeah, and there's, if you want to check out the website, it's yesphx.com. We did do a big brand refresh like almost exactly a year ago, and all the information, well, not about this summer social is not up there yet. Maybe it'll be up there by the time this goes out.
Okay, excellent, very cool. Okay, that's definitely worth checking out. All right, so let's wrap up here with a reflection question for you. Looking back, what do you wish you knew sooner about building wealth and success earlier in your career?
I think saving more money when I was probably in my 20s.
Sure. Okay, that's a common answer. People often say, "I wish I would have started investing sooner."
Started investing sooner. I do have an older. I've my wife and two daughters. My oldest daughter is turning 25 this year. She's got two jobs, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, just try to start saving something. Like save $50 out of every check if you can. Do something, and put it in. Whatever's recommended. I'm not the financial expert, but whatever is the recommended thing, do that and starts, because it can't hurt, and it's only going to help you down the road. Don't get into debt, that sort of thing. So I wish I did when I was younger. I definitely made that mistake. I got into debt, and that did not help me over the years.
Sure. Yep.
And so that's probably the biggest thing I would change, is not being stupid with spending goofy amounts of money on credit cards.
Yeah. And yeah, we're not really taught, right? We're taught how to be consumers in this culture. So it's
Yeah,
not easy.
I learned.
Good, good. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Well, Vincent, if people would like to connect with you or learn more about Not a Guru, what should they do?
Oh, absolutely. I'm all over social media. So if you look up my name, Vincent Orleck, you'll find me connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on all the platforms as my name. Notaguru.co is the website.
Okay.
So if you want to check that out. And then the other thing that I'm building is this program called Micro CMO. And so
Okay.
you'll start to see that. I'm gonna be posting more about that too, probably before this is out.
Is that
And
like a fractional marketing officer?
it's kind of the idea. Yeah, it's that's where it came from, is to make it for small business owners, make a more affordable,
Okay.
realistic thing for super small business owners that
Right.
maybe they have some help. They have like an admin, or they're
Right.
doing their social, or a niece or nephew, and we kind of deride that sometimes. But instead of doing that, why don't we just teach that person
Right.
what to do for the business and how to run it? So
Right.
that's where it's coming from.
Okay. That is a challenge for a lot of startups,
Very
right?
much so.
Is they don't have the budget for it, and
Yep.
for bigger marketing companies want thousands of dollars a month, and they don't have their revenue yet. So, but they can't get the revenue unless they market. So it's a vicious circle.
Yeah.
So I often wonder if there's equity based ones, and I remember I think it was Bob Parsons had something like that back in the day, Yam or something. Do you know what I'm
The
talking about?
big Yam agency. He had
Okay.
I don't know the exact workings, but yeah, that was after he kind of cashed out GoDaddy.
Okay.
He started a few things, and he had the Big Yam Studios. But there was also an
Okay.
agency, I believe, and the studios were really nice. They were up there and up near the air park, right right next to the air park, and it was a beautiful like studio. You could go and film things,
Huh.
and but they would hire out, or people would pay to do things there too, to film things too.
Right.
Um, yeah, for this it is that, you know, those are the main things, is time, affordability, and resources. That's just
Right.
always the thing. And even, you know, nothing against individual consultants here or agencies. They're charging what they charge for a reason.
Yep.
Totally get it. But yeah, the one solopreneur or the little mom and pop can't necessarily afford even $500 a month for that, as important as it is, because maybe it's
Right.
not driving direct sales and leads,
Right.
but they
For
need
six,
it.
12 months. And then
Right.
maybe, right. So do you see people do equity partnerships? Do they partner with Light in that
Here and there, I
model?
mean, startups, yeah, definitely with startups, they'll offer that
Hmm.
to a degree, but on the small business side, it's not, not really a thing that they're
Right.
talking about so much. It's more about, honestly, like, so if it's a restaurant or something, their equity is free food. I've seen stuff like
Right.
that, right? Free services on bartering,
Yep.
essentially.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely seen that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. That sounds cool too. So, good stuff. Thank you, Vincent. So,
Thanks for having me.
what? All right. Yeah. Was there anything else I should have mentioned? Sounds like you got a lot of different cool stuff going on.
No, I try to have a lot of cool stuff going on. It can be good and bad at times. There's pros and cons to that. Just messing around with Substack right now, starting a new Substack. I will say I'm open to also full-time work. In the social media world, social media director type level things,
Okay.
head of social. So I'm just kind of out there exploring all the opportunities.
Okay. Excellent. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for listening and watching. Thank you, Vincent Orleck, for joining me today. We appreciate you sharing your insights into marketing and that whole industry. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Inspired by our guests? Visit phoenixprosperitypodcast.com/guest and join us on the show and share your success story with Tim. The spotlight awaits.